Hey guys, this is John here in Los Angeles with the Alpha Channel update for June 8th, 2024. And today we have Conan the Barbarian 16, the Frost Giant's Daughter, originally 20 cents from Marvel Comics, cover by Barry Windsor Smith, and two stories inside from Barry Windsor Smith, who I think is hands down probably one of the greatest panel for panel illustrators that ever worked in science fiction fantasy comics. I'm not going to say superhero comics because that's a whole different genre. But for this stuff, check this out. This got two title pages. One for the Frost Giant's Daughter, but a second one for Conan himself. Conan the Barbarian. With his own... sorry. This is a very old comic. I don't know how many times this has been opened since it was bought. In the 70s, because it still smells really strong. Look at how crisp these colors are. Look at how bright those titles are. All they had was magenta. Remember, it's CYMK. So magenta is as pure as they could get without mixing. Simple storytelling. Conan is involved in the tail end of a battle between the Aesir and the Vanir. He's helping them out. The Aesir were blonde and the Vanir were redheaded. Or the other way around, it doesn't really matter. Point is, Conan was the last guy alive after the battle. 20 dead. He had some friends coming back to help him, but they weren't there yet. And then this ice princess, this beautiful blonde girl, shows up. And she seduces him into chasing her through the ice-covered mountains. This has been done a few times, this story. It's in a lot of different paperback versions. It's one of Robert E. Howard's most famous stories of Conan. And you'll see why in a couple minutes. So Conan here is chasing her down. And he finally catches up with her. And she immediately hides behind her brothers. See if... so these are the two of them. Let me see if back a page. Here's right when she catches up to them. And then Conan, without hesitating, he's chased her so long and so far, immediately attacks. And I don't think even these giants were quite prepared for that. Because he just comes all at him with everything he's got. And ends up killing both of them. And so catches her and is treated to a celestial event where Ymir himself comes down and rescues his daughter. And then Conan's friends show up and they explain it to him. Yeah, this has happened before to other people. You're not the only guy. This is one of the famous stories. So, like I said, a lot of artists have drawn it. All of Barry Windsor Smith's art is amazing as usual. Let me see if there's any panels that really... This one down here in the bottom of Conan. Some of the stuff of the princess. Oh, she's beautiful. Hold on. And I looked at some of the prices for some of these. You know, a 9.8 is like $100 for these early 20 Conan books. We're just going to do the first story today. The second story is really kind of cool, and I'm going to save that for tomorrow. And I think that'll save me sort of some copyright stuff. So this is going to be part one like the other one. And the story is worth it. It's worth waiting. While I plug Legacy of a Mad Scientist and The Legend of Ashley Fox, 26 hours of amazing science fiction audiobooks here on YouTube. I have half a dozen other audiobooks on Audible and a few on historyradio.org. I recorded 2019. I wanted to get a dozen audiobook recordings done. Professional. I recorded them and edited them, and I was really proud of it. The audiobooks here on YouTube are with a different equipment setup, so they're not quite as good. They'll get recorded again at some point. And check this out. So this is the level of rendering that I need to get to with my art. I do have some updates for my art I want to show you guys. But I'm showing you guys these again. This is the work of a guy I went to animation school with. And these were for the comic that we did that's out at our website, ashleyfox.ninja. Under the comics tab, And you can see this story featuring these panels. And Ashley and Valeria, this Valkyrie right here, Valeria, go up against a bunch of summoned demons by this wizard and by a gang of wizards. And Ashley has to take on her final Valkyrie form to fight them off. This is just incredible art, amazing art. I need to get to this level of rendering and line art. I did last night, I had to update this picture with the little kid here. I had to give him a couple bags full of stuff so that mom has her hand. He's not just got his hands empty while mom's got every hand full plus a dog. So let me hold this a little bit closer and hold it still so you guys can see. This is a mom and her son coming out of a pet store. And she's got a dog on a leash that she's holding back with her foot and a fish jumping out of the fish bowl while she holds the leash and her son carries the stuff that they've bought. And that's going to be for this cover where, you know, I've got my two guys coming down the sidewalk at full speed, and anything that gets in their way is liable to, you know, cause an accident. So this is my weekend project along with the hand-painted hand grenades. I might work on those a little bit tomorrow. I'm just getting moving for Saturday. This is, well, it's pretty late. I've done a bunch of chores and stuff. I still have to do my workout. There is some stuff I want to talk about, mostly unfinished projects. I have my novels up, and those I'm super proud of. But now I've got these unfinished comic books and video games that I'm just itching to get done. And I've noticed today I was watching some of the streams, and everyone's talking about 90 to 100 pages, 120 if you're talking about a script. So I can see a lot of these crowdfunded comics at that length are studio film pitches. And that's something you can do as an individual artist. Living and working out here in Hollywood, I can write a novel or a script and try and get that in onto the blacklist or do TV. I have been watching some old television. Some of the old television was really fantastic. I've been watching The Incredible Hulk with Bill Bixby as Dr. Bruce Banner, or Dr. David Banner. And it's a really good show. I never really watched it. You know, I would see episodes, but I don't think I ever watched a whole episode front to back. And it's terrible, but it's perfect to have on like while you're drawing. It's just, it's a guilty pleasure. It's so bad. I feel bad recommending it. But I'm going to recommend another one too that's equally ridiculous. Fantasy Island is absurd. You couldn't make TV like this nowadays. The dude has like a little guy as his sidekick. And he speaks in this god-awful accent. Oh, it's Khan, Ricardo Montalban. I mean, everyone knew about this show, but God, I think I was a little kid when it was on, if I was alive at all. I'm sure I must have been alive when that show was on. It was on reruns forever. So, but, you know, like the A-Team was awesome. These little episodes that are single contained, you know, the Fantasy Island thing is 2 or 3 stories in a single episode. It's hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. And it's so absurd and overly dramatic and all that kind of shit that television should be. It's spelling television. So, you know, the Incredible Hulk is produced by someone named Kenneth Johnson, right? Name does not ring a bell. So, again, this is Conan, the Frost Giant's daughter. We will do the second half of it. You know what? Maybe we'll just do the second half of it now. For everyone who stuck around, this is the second half of Conan the Barbarian. Number 16, Frost Giant's daughter. The second story is going to blow your mind. It's really cool. It's called Star the Slayer. And Star is a... let me flip it open. He is a fictional character. This is like Into the Mouth of Madness. This is also exactly like what happened with Robert E. Howard and Conan the Barbarian. Robert E. Howard was 26 when he created Conan, but he maintained until his death by his own hand in his early 30s, I believe he was 31, that Conan appeared over his shoulder one night and he could sense his presence and that he told him everything, and that he could only glimpse him out of the corner of his eye. He told him if he turned around, he'd split his skull with his axe. And then he told him all his stories. And so in this one, Star the Slayer, this is a little bit, they break the fourth wall in this one like the last issue, where they had the Roy Thomas and Gil Kane panels bracketing the whole story, where it was kind of a what if. This one is a story of what if a wizard was controlling the destiny of a warrior, and that warrior caught up with him, and they threatened each other, and the warrior was transported to the wizard's realm, and in the wizard's realm, the wizard lived in a metropolis of skyscrapers built of crystalline glass, and they had a fight. And basically, the concept is Conan gets transferred to New York City to a struggling science fiction writer who's his creator and is going to murder him in his final episode. And the way he comes up with to murder him is that he's a fictional character in a story, and he's been called in by a wizard who's going to murder him. It's very, Terminator-esque, this sort of Mobius Stroop, the Tesseract, the endless loop sort of thing. And then Conan, Star the Slayer, who happens to have the same helmet as Conan. He has a different necklace you can see up here in the top. He has this crimson necklace up here. But he has the same helmet. It's just gold instead of silver. And so he goes back to his own world with a story of how he visited New York City and killed a science fiction writer. So that's really kind of genius. Like, that's the stuff they were, that's really creative. I'm sure it's been done before, but it's a nice little 6-page story. And I can do that stuff with skaters in the park. I can do tight little 6-page stories. I'm so excited. I'm having a ton of fun. I have to get to work tonight. I have to do chest workout and then start light boxing the first few pages of the comic. Oh, we do have our Wildwood Tarot for this Alpha Channel June 8th edition. And this is the box. You should buy a copy of this just for the artwork. Here's the inner book where they talk about all the cards. And this is the 8 of Stones, Home. I really like this. I love the tree growing out of the giant communal sort of dwelling place. And on the gate, you'll see on the right or on the left is a man and on the right is a woman. Hope it's not too close. But carved into the stone. And this is just the coolest deck. Like, this drawing just has a feeling of, there's no people in it, but when you get there, you're safe, you're welcome. This is where everyone wants to be. This is just, I don't know. Maybe there's some phallic vaginal symbolism going on there, I suppose. I was talking about it from memory, but now that I look at it again, there's good artists working at Wildwood Tarot. Oh, and I'm going to show off some EDC for today. This is the awesomest ninja end of the world gear you can get. I think these are like $7 and $12. I believe these two are the same length. I have a longer one, but I don't know where it is. These are the awesomest black steel ninja blades that you can get. They're super cheap, but these will get the job done, I promise you. Short sword is all you need, all you ever need. And we have one more, it's a little bit longer. These are just awesome. If you had to fight Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger, even if you're a girl, he'd be hard pressed to beat you if you have one of these in your hand. I wrapped the handles. The handles were really thin, like thread, but I wrapped them with tape and like hockey tape. So even as a short sword, you can even use it with 2 hands, but this is just, it's like Halloween every day. You can't go wrong. So I think that's it for today. Check out my audiobooks here on YouTube, on Smashwords. You can download the free digital ebooks or buy the paperback at Amazon.com, Legacy of Mad Scientist and The Legend of Ashley Fox. All right, see you guys.